shotgunned arena during the halftime ceremony of the NBA All-Star Game. They were chosen in 1996 by a panel of former players and coaches, current and former general managers, and media members. The selection of the players on this esteemed gathering of legends of the game was met with applause, but it was also filled with controversy. Many believed that there were some deserving players who didn't make the cut, while there were others who shouldn't have been in it in the first place. 23 years since then, I have decided to dip my hand into the controversial listing with a list of my own, and I made it even more controversial by ranking them. The NBA's official list also needs updating, since there have been a number of great players who have come along since then. In order to rank the players properly, I first had to come up with a list of 10 to 15 of the best players in history at every position and ranked them as well. But not all who made it to the top of each list made it to my final 10. A prestigious list. Without further ado, here are my 10 greatest players in NBA history, ranked and updated for everyone to debate. Top 10. Kobe Bryant. His career averages: 25.0 points, 5.2 rebounds, 4.7 assists. MVP awards: 1. All-NBA, 11 times First Team, 2 times Second Team, 2 times Third Team, All-Star, 18 times. Championships: 5. Some say he's the greatest Laker of all time, and after playing incredibly great for 20 years, Kobe Bryant deserves to at least be part of the argument. He entered the league as a teenager who could barely contain his excitement to be playing hoops as a career. Basketball was the perfect outlet for the young man's competitive nature, and he'll forever be missed by the NBA community and our world as a whole after his tragic death. Bryant has accomplished what most NBA players can only dream of. He won the slam dunk contest as a rookie and was a member of the All-Rookie team. In only his second season, Bryant became an All-Star, the first of 18 such selections. Soon, he would win 3 straight titles along with fellow superstar Shaquille O'Neal. When the two parted ways, Bryant waited a few more seasons before he won 2 more championships, one more than his former teammate. One of the elite scorers in NBA history, the Black Mamba is third in all-time career scoring with 33,643 points and the Lakers' all-time leading scorer. He won his only MVP award in 2008 and was the Finals MVP twice in 2009 and 2010. Bryant won the All-Star Game MVP a record 4 times, tied with Bob Petty, with one of them as co-winner with O'Neal. Privilege of playing with him. Top 8. Shaquille O'Neal. Career averages: 23.7 points, 10.9 rebounds, 2.5 assists. MVP awards: 1. All-NBA, 8 times First Team, 2 times Second Team, 4 times Third Team. All-Star, 15 times. Championships: 4. An immovable object. Down low, Shaquille O'Neal is one of the most mobile big men in NBA history. At 7'1" and more than 300 pounds, O'Neal dominated the paint with his unusual combination of strength, skill and speed. O'Neal nabbed the Rookie of the Year award in 1992 and he never looked back since then. After only 4 years in the league, O'Neal carried the Orlando Magic franchise, an expansion team in 1989, to the 1995 NBA Finals. In 1996, O'Neal left the Magic to join the Lakers, where he would eventually team with coach Phil Jackson and fellow superstar Bryant to form one of the greatest trios in league history. They soon won 3 titles in a row from 2000 to 2002. O'Neal changed teams again in 2004, this time with the Heat, who had up-and-coming superstar Wade in its roster. The two teamed up to give the franchise its first ever championship in 2006 as he won his 4th championship in 7 years. O'Neal is one of only 3 players to win the regular season MVP, All-Star Game MVP and Finals MVP awards in the same season, 1999 to 2000. The Diesel led the league in scoring twice, 1994-95, 1999 to 2000, and is currently 8th in all-time scoring. Top 7. Larry Bird. Career averages: 24.3 points, 10.0 rebounds, 6.3 assists. MVP awards: 3. All-NBA, 9 times first team, 1 time second team. All-Star, 12 times. Championships: 3. If you want to show a kid how to play basketball, you show him Larry Bird. Looking at 6'9" forward, you would never think that he can play in the NBA, but, boy oh boy can he play. The Celtics legend is one of the most revered players to this day because of his intelligence, competitiveness and all-around ability to do just about anything on the court. And that's from a white man who can't run and can't jump. Bird overwhelms you with his cockiness, smarts, supreme confidence and ability to get off his shots with regularity. Number 33 won 3 straight MVP awards, the only player in league history to accomplish the feat. He revitalized the struggling Celtics in the 80s and brought back the glory days of the 60s when Boston ruled the NBA. During his playing days, he added 3 championship banners to the rafters of the old Boston Garden and brought in legions of fans from the NCAA to the NBA along with Magic Johnson, his chief rival and now close friend. Versions of these two great players and Kobe Bryant and Ben Simmons, respectively. The truth is, Bird is quite possibly the only player that you can confidently say, there will never be another, because there will truly never ever be another Larry Bird. Top 6 Magic Johnson. Career averages: 19.5 points, 7.2 rebounds, 11.2 assists. MVP awards: 3. All-NBA, 9 times first team, 1 time second team. All-Star, 12 times. Championships: 5. The Lakers would not have had Showtime in the 1980s without Earvin Magic Johnson. Magic was perfect for LA and Hollywood with his trademark smile and passion for the game. His Finals MVP as a rookie is perhaps his single greatest accomplishment after he replaced the injured Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Game 6. He started the game at center and played all 5 positions by the time the game was over, recording 42 points, 15 rebounds and 7 assists. His near-annual battles with Bird for the championship drove the league to heights of popularity it had never known before. His 5 championships cemented him as one of the greatest players to play the game. At 6'9", Johnson was the biggest point guard that had ever graced the basketball court until the Sixers' Ben Simmons came along. The Lakers' playmaker ran the offense with a love for the game that was rarely seen, and he orchestrated Showtime to perfection on the way to 5 championships and 9 finals appearances. He also led the 1988-89 Lakers to the first back-to-back championship in 20 years. Since then, back-to-back championships and three-peats became commonplace. Johnson retired from the game prematurely in 1991 at 32 years old after contracting HIV. Who knows how much more he could have accomplished had he played 5 or more seasons. Top 5 Bill Russell. Career averages: 15.1 points, 22.5 rebounds, 4.3 assists. MVP awards: 5. All-NBA, 3x first team, 8x second team. All-Star, 12x. Championships: 11. 13 years. 11 championship rings. 10 fingers. That pretty much sums up the legacy of Bill Russell, the man who owns the most championship rings in the game's storied history. Russell's philosophy was all about winning titles because, according to him, there were no politics when it came to winning. The individual accolades came anyway, as he won 5 MVP awards. If there was a Defensive Player of the Year award back in the 1960s, Russell would have won it every year that it was handed out. He ignited the Celtics' vaunted fast break with his defense. Though he would battle Wilt Chamberlain as the most dominant big man in the game, the 6'10" center wasn't the scorer that his contemporary was. His focus was in taking care of the paint and making sure that everyone was involved in the offense. There are those who regard Russell as the greatest player in the game because of his unprecedented 11 titles. No matter who was on the floor with him, Boston found a way to win, regardless. When the playoffs came, his teammates knew that they could win any ball game or series because of his mere presence. The Celtics won also 8 straight titles under Russel's leadership, still the longest current championship streak in league annals. He not only led by example but by his words as well. For 3 seasons, 1966-67, 1967-68 and 1968-69, he was the team's playing coach, guiding the team to championships during those last 2 years. Is he the greatest? If winning was the basis, then Russell wins the argument hands down. Top 4 Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Career averages: 24.6 points, 11.2 rebounds, 3.6 assists. MVP awards: 6. All-NBA, 10 times first team, 5 times second team. All-Star, 19 times. Championships, 6. No one has eclipsed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's 6 MVP awards, and that's for a good reason. His excellence extends over 2 decades, winning 6 championships along the way. Before being part of the Lakers' Showtime, Jabbar had already won a championship ring with the Milwaukee Bucks in 1971 but had a long title drought. His 38,837 points have stood the test of time. It's been almost 20 years since he retired and the record still stands to this day. But it's impossible to talk about Kareem without talking about the skyhook. His signature move is one of the most enduring images in NBA history and one that is likely never going to be replicated. The captain won 5 more championships with Magic directing traffic during the Lakers' Showtime era. In 2016, ESPN ranked him as the second best player in NBA history behind only the great Michael Jordan. But if you ask Isaiah Thomas, the Pistons' ringleader in the 1980s who faced off against his Lakers, Abdul-Jabbar is the greatest player of all time, especially if you consider his dominance from his high school days to his college career and all the way to the professional ranks. Top 3 Wilt Chamberlain. Career averages: 30.1 points, 22.9 rebounds, 4.4 assists. MVPs: 4. All-NBA, 7 times first team, 3 times second team. All-Star, 13 times. Championships: 2. Wilt Chamberlain was a larger-than-life figure who is one of the most difficult to rank in an all-time greatest list. The stilt suffered from the perception that he wasn't as good as advertised when time and time again his teams would be eliminated by Russell's Celtics. But can you imagine how many rings Chamberlain would have owned if he and Russell had not played simultaneously? We'd probably rank him number 1 on this list along with every other sports website. The 7-footer changed the game as the NBA decided to widen the lane to limit his dominance over smaller players. He was the second real giant, after Mekon, on the hardwood, and it was only the Celtics who truly humbled the league's unstoppable mythical figure with the defensive prowess of Russell, their own immovable object. Despite these setbacks in the playoffs, Chamberlain owns records that will likely never be broken, such as his 100-point performance against the New York Knicks and the 55 rebounds he grabbed in a game against the Celtics. There was a season in which Chamberlain never left a basketball game to rest, averaging 48.5 minutes a game. That shows us that he was merely toying with the league through his massive size and talent. Before Jordan tied him, Wilt held the record for the most consecutive seasons leading the league in scoring with 7. But perhaps his greatest accomplishment was when he led the league in total assists in the 1968 season, averaging a career-high 8.6 assists per game. There was nothing he couldn't do on the hardwood as long as he set his mind to do it. Top 2 LeBron James. Career averages: 27.1 points, 7.4 rebounds, 7.4 assists. MVPs: 4. All-NBA, 12 times first team, 2 times second team, 1 time third team. All-Star, 16 times. Championships: 3. 18 years into his career and LeBron James has not shown signs of slowing down. Based on his numbers the last few years, it almost seems as if he just reached his prime. The first pick of the 2003 NBA draft straight out of high school is a 4-time MVP and a perennial All-Star. He's the first player to reach 30,000 points, 8,000 rebounds and 8,000 assists, and he is on pace to reach the unfathomable 40,000 points, 10,000 rebounds and 10,000 assists. When James finally pioneers the exclusive 40K 10K 10K club, we may not see anyone else join him for the next 50 years or so. His resume is filled with accolades and records broken that could fill an entire 200-page book. With today's advanced statistics and record-keeping, we are able to track what players are doing that are historically great. Atop the leaderboard of history-making and record-breaking is the kid from Akron who continues to add to his legacy with every game that he plays. The greatest of all-time debate is discussed by the media almost every season because of James' nightly exploits. In fact, never has this discussion become as prevalent as these last few years after he claimed that elusive championship in 2012. Since then, he has been working his way up the greatest of all-time ladder, passing other players in the discussion such as Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Wilt Chamberlain. Before his career is over, he may even take over the #1 spot on this list, especially if he wins a title with the Lakers, but that's a debate for another time. For now, let's just be witnesses and watch in awe of this phenomenon called LeBron James. Top 1. Michael Jordan. Career averages: 30.1 points, 6.2 rebounds, 5.3 assists. MVP awards: 5. All-NBA, 10 times first team, 1 time second team. All-Star, 14 times. Championships, 6. The greatest player ever to lace a pair of basketball shoes is none other than Michael Jeffrey Jordan. The 6'6" legend took the league by storm the moment he set foot on an NBA hardwood. When the lanky but athletic young shooting guard started his career, Jordan was thought of more as a scoring machine even though he was an excellent defender and a willing passer. He averaged more assists per game than most, if not all, of his fellow shooting guards. It wasn't until he won his first championship that he was taken seriously as one of the greatest players in the game. 6 championships later, with no loss in the finals, Jordan sits atop the discussion of the greatest player debate despite James' continuous assault upon his earnest accomplishments. The latter player may or may not catch up to the former, but for now, Jordan sits on the throne with the rest of his peers honoring him for his accomplishments. The 5-time MVP was an assassin on the court, taking down opponents of all shapes and sizes. No one was safe from Jordan's competitive fire as he extinguished all comers on his way to winning 6 Finals MVPs to go along with his 6 rings. Jordan owns numerous awards and records, most of which continue to endure to this day. Aside from the championships, Jordan is well known for hitting one clutch shot after another, culminating in a number of game winners and buzzer beaters that are the stuff of legend. What is especially incredible about Jordan's legendary status is that none of this is made up. He lives up to the hype and the mystique. None of it is a product of the imagination. That's why if there is anyone who deserves to be at the top of the greatest players list, it's Jordan.